Welcome to another episode of Horror Never Dies, Season 3, Episode 8. We're going to be talking about the zombie genre in tonight's episode. And this might relatively be a short episode. Not sure how it's going to go. It's been a long fucking day, long fucking night. If people want to just do last minute shit, I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? But I hope y'all have been enjoying y'all October so far, watching a lot of spooky movies, a lot of horror movies, new, old, um, whatever series. Let me know what are you watching? What are you watching right now currently in the comments below. Please get them likes up. Please get them likes up and definitely share this if you could to your fellow um horror fan out there. I'm waiting for Rashad to get up in here. He's probably doing last minute shit as well, like me. But like I said, not too much to kind of dive into outside of the um, zombie stuff that I want to talk about tonight. So yeah, with that being said, right now I'm watching this movie called The Resurrected. And I believe it's a Korea, it's a K drama. I could be off about that. I gotta double check, but it's pretty much like they bring back. You have these two mothers kind of dealing with different things with their daughters because their daughters got scammed. One ended up dying during this whole kind of process. The other one kind of ended up in a coma, and it kind of shows you the ins and outs on how they got there. And what they want to do is the guy that was the cause of this, and you know what I'm saying, he was put to death, but they're like, no, we got to bring him back. Hold on, let me bring Rashad up in here real quick. Yo,
Yeah, I am. There I go. Yes, sir.
what's up? What's up? I was just breaking down the show I've been watching on Netflix called The Resurrected. It's pretty much like you got these two moms that are dealing with certain things that happen with their daughters. Like their daughters end up like getting scammed into working for these like really sketchy ass people. One of the daughters ended up dead. The other daughter ended up in like a coma somehow. And it's pretty much like kind of showing you how what happened to the daughters and stuff. But what's happening in the main timeline is the guy that was involved with all that, he's being put to death. But before they can cremate his body in this universe, like resurrection is like a real thing, but there's a limit to it. You can bring somebody back, but they're only going to be alive for like 7 days. So they want to bring this guy back so they can get their own justice. They pretty much just torture the fuck out of him for like 7 days and like start draining him for his money and stuff and all that. And just everything that they could possibly think about doing. It's a really crazy show. For just I'm only like 2 episodes in so far, but it's pretty interesting so far.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Hell, I want to check that out now. You said it's called
Yeah,
Resurrection?
resurrected. The
Resurrected.
resurrect
Okay.
the resurrected. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, but also saying like, yeah, we're gonna be talking about zombie stuff. But
Yeah.
before we kind of get into that, what you been watching lately? I know you just recently watched Night of the Living Dead. We could hold off on your thoughts on that,
Mhm.
but other than that, what else have you been watching?
Yeah, I watched Night of the Living Dead, and I watched the remake today. And I just finished. I watched Good Boy a couple of days ago. I finally saw that.
Word. You know what's
Um,
funny? I was like seeing somebody's video. There's like, yo, I could like they're saying, which I had to call like something about it is just a little bit of phony. Because I was like, because she was saying like, oh, I couldn't finish it. I was like, you couldn't finish it. It's only an hour and 10 minutes.
yeah,
She's like, I was just
I
bored.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it,
Yeah,
man. Like I thought the director did a really good job of creating that atmosphere of just tension. You know what I'm saying? Where you didn't know what the fuck
yeah,
was going to happen and what was going on, and the fact that the dog is the protagonist. I thought was really cool, and I really thought they did a good job of capturing the dog's emotions. You know, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the dog was
I'm
fucking scared
yeah, the
shitless.
dog was scared. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure the dog doesn't answer to, okay, dog, act scared. Okay, good. No, they just happen to catch him at the right time, making the right facial expressions.
And they got the best dog to do it because, like, other dog, if you kind of lunge at it or something like that, it could have fucking attack you, or you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's a really well trained dog. I still wouldn't fuck with it.
No, well, you know what? I did get mad because I'm like, you know, as you know, I'm kind of a dog lover. So there was a part where your boy grabbed the dog, where he kept saying like, "Oh,
that was
like,
crazy.
leave me alone." Yeah, he said, "Get the fuck out of here!" I said, "Hey, don't grab him like that." I yelled at the screen, Perp. I yelled at the screen, bro. I said, "Don't grab him like that."
Yeah, but that was that. I'm not gonna spoil it. Like the ending was really sad. There was a lot. Like I appreciate that. I like dark endings about horror movies and stuff.
Yeah,
But Good Boy is really.
It was good. Like when a horror movie can make me emotional at the end, man. I like when a horror, because usually it's just like for scares, but when it can like kind of get you in the feels, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I highly recommend anybody listening. If you haven't seen Good Boy, check that out.
Somebody else was also saying like, yo, what else could you see like a perspective of? I was just like, yo, it'd be really cool if they made a horror movie about God and we just see everything from God's perspective, like seeing like, you know, everybody's committing sins like this, like, you know, and he can't do nothing because God, you know, so he's not supposed to intervene and stuff like that. So you're just seeing like different you could be like, it could be like an anthology type of like little stories and stuff like that, but then like it gets revealed by the end of it, it's like everything's being told like seen from God's point of view, like he's just watching this stuff happen.
My kids will come after you for that. Perp. They'll say that portals are opening up.
Avengers
is simple. But other than that, yeah, what else did I watch? I've seen the Smashing Machine. I did watch that. I know that's not really horror related, but I did watch that. And I did go back and watch Elm Street 4 Dream Master. I rewatched that the other day.
Still holds up, or you just still like where do you rank it amongst like
Dream Master? I would put Dream Master probably behind Dream Warriors. So I would say one Dream Warriors and then Dream Master.
Wait, which one is 5?
That's
I was thinking Dream Master. Okay, because I was thinking 5 was Dream Master, but then I forgot like one of them is Child or some shit like that.
Dream Child. Yeah, five. They tried to make Freddy scary again because by 4, it was criticized for being a little too camp, a little too comedic. So they try to make it back dark again. But it's like once they made Freddy a comic, nobody's gonna be ever scared of him ever again. So that
right.
They was, but 4 still holds up. Like the cockroach scene when he turned Debbie into a cockroach, that scene still holds up.
Yeah, I remember that's the one where we kind of really go into the dream world and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Yeah. Because I haven't watched it so long, like, but I just remember specific sequences and stuff that kind of just stuck in my head. The pizza one, that's Freddy is Dead, right?
No, the pizza, that's Dream Master. Yeah, when he picked the meatball up and then ate it.
Yeah. Because it feels like those last kind of like from 4 to like everything kind of like blends into one in my head. So like I haven't seen them in so long. But some other news I wanted to kind of get out the way real quick before we get into the main shit. For my Yellow Jacket fans out there, they just announced the 4th and final season is coming in 2026, which makes complete sense on just the direction of where the story is going. A lot of people wanted the story to keep going. They just like these characters. The show is a bit of a mess at times, but this recent season, I was kind of getting a little worried. I was like, is this kind of starting to lose the plot a bit? But then it kind of brings you back in with the second half. But that's like just the shit you get with like Weekly, because like you sometimes like with like Peacemaker recently, like a lot of people have been disappointed on just the way that the season's been going, when it's more been about just kind of focusing on these characters and the character development instead of just like having like while still having like a wacky kind of adventure. But this is kind of like the same thing with Yellow Jackets, like where you have like a really strong cast, but sometimes like the writing can kind of like fall off a cliff a little bit, but then sometimes they kind of bring it back. And sometimes you gotta embrace the absurdness of like, because there's two timelines that they're telling. They're like telling um a storyline when they were teenagers, and then they're telling like a present day story and stuff. And sometimes that can um get a little bit little wonky and stuff, but it's still a really good show. I'm curious to see how they're going to wrap everything up. And Rashad, I recommend checking out Yellow Jackets if you haven't. I think you'll dig it.
You've been recommending that to me for a minute now, and Perv, I can't let you down. I'm gonna go ahead and watch it, man.
Yeah, I think it's on Paramount. I think the first two seasons are still on Netflix.
On Netflix, okay.
So yeah, definitely. If y'all haven't checked out Yellow Jackets, definitely check it out. It's worth a watch. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what I like about it is it's something new and it's fresh, even though like, yeah, it's gonna have its issues here and there, depending on the person, like how big of those issues are gonna be for you. You know what I'm saying? At least give the first season a shot, because I feel like the first season is very strong. Second season, it's okay. It has like kind of like the similar issue I have with like season 3, where it's like a lot doesn't happen at first, and then like it just kind of builds up to something. Everything's kind of just building up towards like this mystery. But I like the humor of it. I like the creepiness, the messing with the minds, like where like when they're in the wilderness, you don't know if it's like, is this all there in their head, or is there something actually supernatural, fucking with them and stuff like that. A lot of interesting things with Yellow Jackets. Next, I just seen on, because I was just going through Blade discussing different articles, and I was just like, for the people that care about this, I honestly think this would be kind of cool. And I'm also surprised on where this is streaming. The Spirit of Halloween Town. It's a documentary, and they're going to be talking about the different movies and stuff. It's going to be on YouTube, Apple, and Prime, not Disney Plus for some odd reason. But all right, weird. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's like a Disney shit. But I'd be curious to check that out. And another documentary that's just on Shudder. I don't know if people have seen this. It's like this huge alien documentary. It's like 250 something minutes long. So it's fucking. I don't know. Convert that. It's long. That's a long ass fucking. You know what I'm saying, with James Cameron talking about that shit and all that. And
that's my Aliens. Cool. Just the second movie.
No, I'm talking about all of Aliens. It's like this whole in-depth kind of documentary about aliens. I guess all the movies. Okay. That's on Shudder as well. Speaking of aliens and whatnot, we have Predator Badlands coming out, but the big thing that a lot of people are talking about is it being PG-13. Now, is that a bad thing or a good thing? Because the director was saying, because there's no humans in this, which is a good thing, and it's all going to be like alien violence and stuff like that, which I'm cool with, honestly. And I feel like that they're able to kind of, and I feel like they did that so they can kind of get in a younger demographic instead of just kind of isolating them by just making it rated R. What are your thoughts?
I'm not. I mean, the last Predator movie got was the first AVP, and I thought it was still a dope movie. So yeah, I don't have a problem with the PG-13 rating. Especially like you said, there's not going to be not much human, human killing or whatever. So yeah, I got no problem with it.
Yeah, because the director said he's going to push it. Like he's going to push that the violence and shit like that. It's just not going to be no violence towards humans because there's no humans. But I'm excited. No, it comes out next month. Next month with Running Man. I think that those are still coming out on the same day, like November 7th or 17th or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it though. Like, cause I'm avoiding all the trailers because I know they got the new trailer out and stuff like that. I'm avoiding that shit.
Yeah, you're finally learning.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been on it. I've been on that shit because like I'm just unless if it's like something that kind of catches my eye, I got no other choice, or just like by chance, like then all right. But I try to just stay far away. Like the Marty Supreme shit. I don't think that showed anything, but it just kind of gives you the tone of that movie. I stayed away from the Shelby Oaks because I want to go into that as blind as possible. Like the only scene I've seen is the beginning of the trailer where old dude like, unalives himself, you know what I'm saying, in front of old girl.
Well, you know what's funny, dog? When I went to go see Elm Street at AMC, I avoid the trailers, and those trailers were actually forced on me. So they showed Shelby Oaks, they showed Black Phone 2, trailers that I was trying to avoid like the plague.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there in my chair, with my head down, even though I can still hear it, but I got my head down. I'm not watching, and I'm trying hard to not even pay attention to what I'm hearing. But I'm like, God damn it, that's why they force these goddamn trailers on me. Son of a bitch.
You're right, Tony. As long as the movie's good, which I think the movie's gonna be good, you're gonna have people like. I don't want to like. The only thing I don't like about the Predators Badlands shit is the posters that, like the recent posters. I was just like, man, these are super fucking generic. It's like the floating heads and stuff. Why are we still doing that? Can we retire that? So I like the first one where it's just like the Predator with the fucking his sword in the ground or some shit like that, just kneeling down, almost like a knight type of shit. Like that shit was fire. You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna still be a really fun time at the movie theaters, and I think just having that PG-13 label that I can bring my nephew to go see it. That could be his first Predator movie and stuff like that. And
so is Badlands supposed to be tying into the animated joint that just came out?
they're probably going to be like hints. They are doing like a double feature with Prey, which I actually want to kind of do that, like see the Prey and Badlands and stuff like that, because Prey never was in theaters and stuff like that, so that'd be cool,
right,
to kind of see that. But yeah, the animated movie definitely ties into Prey and just everything else and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I like how they're just kind of putting the breadcrumbs there, and then we got what's her face, Sigourney Weaver. She's talking about how she gonna come back. Like she read a script that's like she read a 5-page script, 50-page script that was really tight that she really liked. So the Alien and Predator shit is moving, regardless of how people felt about like Alien Earth and stuff like that. I still enjoyed the fuck out of that show.
I fuck with it. Yeah, I dug it.
Yeah, but yeah, let me know in the comments below how y'all feel about Predator Badlands being PG-13, bad thing or a good thing in your eyes. Now, kind of shifting things into our main topics, but like this was also a thing that I saw that kind of like made me scratch my head just by the wording of the headline and stuff. It says there was this headline. I'm not going to get the exact quote, but Walmart hopes to destroy the Dawn of the Dead mall. Like they want to buy that and just destroy that. I'm like hope. Why do you hope that? Like
blasphemy. That's blasphemy.
And we knock it down for what? To just build a fucking Walmart or a super Walmart or some shit like that? That's fucking trash, man. Just leave it alone. Just like the mall, whatever I think that's the shit they use for Stranger Things. I think that's abandoned and shit like that too. But like that shit should be like a national treasure, to be honest. Like that mall should be a national treasure. Don't touch that shit. But
leave it alone. Yep.
They just look at it like a movie prop, but that's like fucking history, man.
Look, corporate greed, man. Like the corporations are so fucking cold blooded, man. It makes no sense, man. Like, why would you fuck with a relic like that? You know what I'm saying? Like they know how beloved it is, and they trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, corporate greed, fuck them.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna build there, but whatever, man. RIP to that mall if it does get destroyed. So now talking about zombies, it'd be disrespectful not to talk about the GOAT himself. George A. Romero, the guy that kind of pioneered this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even to an extent, I feel like he took the premise of a Frankenstein and like amplified it by, you know what I'm saying? It's like that whole like
steroids.
Bring it, yeah, like man messing with supernatural things and trying to bring somebody back, ends up fucking around, having a zombie birth. So I'm gonna get your thoughts before we kind of talk about Romero as a whole and stuff. Like, what were your thoughts about the OG Night of the Living Dead?
That's
your first time watching it?
That was my first time watching it. First time. Yeah, first time. I saw the remake a long time ago. so I didn't remember it, but I've never seen the OG. And I would say, man, I was really impressed by how old the movie is and how it still was able to be frightening. You know what I'm saying? Like just the black and white aesthetic and just the way even because the zombie makeup, really wasn't existent back then, but still the way it was lit, it made him look creepy as shit. So so kudos to them for making it scary. But my issue with the movie was how the brother got done at the end.
That was deep. That was deep. That was like that was a really deep. Yeah, that was a really deep. I like how they broke it down. Like it made me kind of like when I watched the Black Noir the documentary about Black horror and stuff like that. When they kind of broke it down, I was like, that's interesting. I never looked at it from this kind of point of view, like the racial aspect of it. That like that movie was very much political in its sense, like way ahead of its time. You know what I'm saying? Even with just him dying at the end, it was crazy.
Well, it was so many things that was taboo about that. Like the fact that he was able to smack a white woman, right? Mind you, this is 1968. He smacked a white woman, and
Dwayne's the man.
But the only thing I can think of, Perp, I said, okay, the studio must have made a deal with him or whoever he did the movie with. They made a deal with him. They said, okay, you can make him the smartest guy in the room. You can make him the lead, the badass. You can slap the white bitch, but he has to die at the end. That's the only stipulation. You know what I'm saying? All right, deal. Because like, why would you bring him that far just to shoot him in the face and then roll credits?
Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy, man.
I was mad about that. I prefer the Tony Todd version, what happened in the remake, where they just turned him into a zombie, and then that's how. But to just shoot him in the fucking face and then like that's it. You know what I mean?
But there's so much to that too. Like especially for that time period, it's like that's a really like. Yeah. Really like strong scene, like very like you say, it still gets you emotional, like with that being like coming out in like the 50s and like late 50s. Right. And I've always said this, I was like, we should. I know a lot of people don't like black and white, but there's something about that black and white aesthetic that you could like that contrast and just certain shots, like even watching like clips and stuff from Denzel's Macbeth and stuff, or just.
Right.
Even looking at Psycho with it being restored and stuff and remastered, it looks just there's something about that black and white aesthetic that is just really dope. Not every movie needs it, but I just feel like there's certain things that you can capture in black and white that you just couldn't capture in color.
Facts. I think we talked about this before. I remember you saying that there should definitely be more black and white horror movies because it just adds a level of creepiness to it. Like if you compare the remake and the original, the remake is probably more entertaining because of course it's newer, the effects are more updated, you know what I'm saying? But that OG one was a lot scarier to me.
What's his face? What's his face worked on the remake or just what's his name? Goddamn, why am I not Greg Nicotero.
Tom Savini directed the remake.
Yeah, Tom Savini. He's a big, pioneer with just the special effects and just where we've gotten with zombie effects. Like we'll talk about The Walking Dead shortly, but just Romero's just like influence is just crazy. It's kind of crazy to think like, if that movie never existed, like. We wouldn't have a lot of these different. We wouldn't have no Dawn of the Dead, no Walking Dead, probably not even Attack on Titan because like a lot of those stuff bleed into other, media and stuff like that, and they do their own kind of spin on the zombie genre.
Yeah, well, you can see how watching it, I saw Walking Dead in there, like you said, Dawn, Day, like almost every zombie movie that you ever seen. Took from that original Now the Living Dead because I saw elements on there like, oh shit, that was in Walking Dead. Oh shit, that was from Day of the Dead. You know what I mean? But I will say, the only thing that kind of like the movie did really come to a halt at a point where it started to really drag. Like when they got to the exposition stuff where they were on the news explaining what happened, I was like, okay, we can pick this back up again. But by the time they got into the house, that's when shit got real. And I was like, okay,
I'm the boss. You might be the boss down there. I'm the boss up here. I love that shit. Dwayne Jones does not get talked about enough just in in just cinema and just how impactful he is, not just only in horror, but just black, just being a black actor at that time. And just,
No,
just at
the
that
only other
time, it's just
thing.
crazy. Being the lead, it's crazy.
Oh, let me tell you, the only other thing I saw in him was Beat Street. Because the more I looked at him, I'm like, where do I know that guy from?
Yeah, Beat Street,
That's Beat Street. Oh shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, like, how people revere, like, how we looked at Tony Todd is like, I feel like how people should have looked at, like, Dwayne Jones and stuff like that. Like, people in horror, like, really respect him, but, like, they'll never, like, recognize this guy. Like, they don't honor him, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of different spaces and stuff like that.
Right.
And I just think that dude is just incredible. Like, I want to see his biopic, like where his biopic at. Everybody getting biopics and shit. I would love to watch that, because I feel like he has a story that needs to be told.
Well, I was about to say, well, yeah, now I want to research and see what happened to his career after that movie because, like 1968, you're talking about this is during, fresh off the Martin Luther King, Malcolm X era. You know what I'm saying? We have a black lead in a movie that is in charge. Like he's not, you know what I'm saying? Because back then, brothers in the movies were always doing the stereotypical black shit. They was always either talking jive or they were dumb and ignorant or lazy. So the fact that this guy commanded the room and he took charge of everything, that was unheard of at the time.
Yeah, and then shout out to George, man, but like just being forward thinking and saying, like, you know what I'm saying, like just probably not even thinking about like what this is going to do going forward for the genre and stuff. Like doing all this stuff, he's already creating the zombie genre, with a black lead, which just does not, especially at that time in the early 50s, like the late 50s, hell no. But that's just really dope. And just seeing, like I said, as we go on, like into the 80s, we get the Return of the Living, like, you know what I'm saying, Return of the Living Deads and stuff like that. And then that kind of, there's this kind of weird period where zombie kind of stuff didn't go away, but like it kind of resurged. It had like this resurgence with the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead. And then from there we get like the Walking Dead era, which like definitely, you can't deny like how big that shit was at the time that it came out. Came out on fucking Halloween. The first 6 episodes and stuff like that. I remember I think they also used to put the first season out in like black and white. I never got a chance to check that out, but that's really dope what they used to do back in the day and stuff like that.
I have a question. So when did they start using because I noticed in the movie, in the OG, they never used the word zombie. They called them I forgot. I know at one point they called them mutations, or they had another word for them, but they didn't. So when did zombies actually?
That's a good question.
Used in movies, yeah.
We probably have to look into that. But yeah, it's always been different. Like, we're talking about Walking Dead, like they call them walkers, or different people call them freakers, or
right.
I think Fear the Walking Dead called them something else.
Now I know there was a movie. I know there was a movie in the late 70s, which I never watched, but I always heard great things about it. I think it was called Zombie. It was made by like the Italian filmmakers. I don't know if it was the same people that did Demons, but I know it's an Italian horror movie called Zombie.
Oh yeah. I see. I remember that. Yeah, I think that's on Tubi.
Okay.
It might not be on Tubi anymore, but I remember seeing that on Tubi. Like everybody talk. That's I think that's the one. Oh yeah, that's the one where because I always see that in like documentaries and stuff where they always show the eye scene where like a chick gets a piece of wood or just things stabbed in her eyeball and shit. Like that's just crazy. Special effects and stuff.
Italians are fucking violent, man. That's one thing I learned. Italians are fucking violent. That's no diss to Italians, man. I love Italians, but man, y'all horror movies are fucking hardcore. It's
the Giallos and more so the French. I'd say the French got it crazy. Like the French, they go crazy with like the high tension. I just seen Shudder repost that. I was like, yeah, that's a fucking wild ass movie. Like that whole era of just like that French French horror, South the East Asian horror, just all that kind of sprung up. But then like even you have Train to Busan. That's another zombie flick that kind of.
I still gotta watch that. I'm gonna watch
that.
Yeah.
But when did you stop watching The Walking Dead? What season?
When did I stop watching it?
Yeah.
Right when whatever season that was when Maggie was gonna kill Negan, and then Michonne stopped her, tackled her to the ground. It was like, Maggie, it's over. I think that was like the season finale or whatever, for whatever season that was. And that's when I stopped. I was like, I have no interest in this shit.
Yeah, that's after Rick leaves, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, because to me, like a lot of people jumped ship after like season 7, which season 7 was fucking dope with just the introduction of Negan. I felt like that kind of the problem with The Walking Dead is though, and what people gotta realize, like that shit having 16 episodes, that didn't need to have 16 episodes. If it had 10 episodes, I feel like more people would just kind of would have stuck on board and stuff, because I just feel like 16 episodes was way too long for that series, especially with certain storylines where they had to just kind of stretch the material and stuff like that. And they started running into problems behind the scenes and characters leaving and that are critical to just certain things that happen later in the story. Just it's a mess.
Well, I mean, speaking for myself, the reason why I think I checked out of The Walking Dead because the appeal of the show is like being with this group that's surviving, surviving this pandemic. You know what I mean? And then you get attached to these characters and you're following their journey. You're on this journey with them, and then it gets to a point where it becomes not about the group anymore, but it becomes
repetitive.
It becomes about Negan now. You know what I'm saying? Now, so it's the Negan show, and I feel like Negan was just a little too, overexposed. They like he got all the best scenes. And it's like I don't care about this guy. Like he's cool, he's and everything, but. Like what happened to the group?
It's a complete opposite for me. Like I really like Negan because he's like the complete polar. He's very similar to Rick, but he's the complete opposite, like personality wise. And then like once you get his backstory, it completely makes sense. Like that was one of my favorite episodes, getting like Negan's whole backstory and stuff, and before like how he got Lucille and stuff like that, and that being attachment to his wife and stuff, and he couldn't save his wife and shit like. That shit was crazy. Well, and it makes sense of why he's so jokey and stuff, and he doesn't really take shit serious because it's the way he kind of like deals with shit in his head. And
he just became like a character where you're like, okay, he was cool at first, but like, okay, the gum has just lost its flavor, man. I prefer the Governor over Negan, if I could be honest. I think the Governor is probably a better because I hated, I tell you why, because Negan's that character that you love to hate, right? He's that bad guy that you like, right? But the Governor was just evil. You hated the Governor. You could have
guy, But I still feel like Negan was the better villain just because of that was Rick's match. Like because at the time, like Rick was feeling himself too much. Like he needed to be knocked down a peg, and like Negan was that kind of like the guy to be like, look. And like I like Negan because he's a very logical guy. Like he's the one that kind of ends up being like the voice of reason. He's able to kind of sense like, all right, this is why Rick isn't the greatest leader right now. Like and his downfall is just his attachment with people. He got too attached. Like he actually liked Rick. He likes fucking Carl and shit. Like I think he got too attached. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And just certain characters leaving, and it's just like where like with Carl leaving, I feel like that was a huge blow, a huge loss to that, because you could have done a lot of interesting things with his character. Right. Like Rick not having any interactions with fucking Alpha was just weird, because like that was the whole like because like Negan was going to be able to Negan was still locked up at this time by the time we got to like Alpha and stuff like that.
Right.
And what he does in the comics is he goes and cuts Alpha's head off as a gift to Rick. He's like, wait till Rick gets a load of this. He's gonna love this. Like as a kind of like a because it's been some years and he's still been kind of locked up. He's just still kind of like being reformed and stuff like that. He's still crazy as fuck though. Like he's still vegan, but
right.
It was dope for just the current big bad at the time going against the former big bad and stuff like that. So that was kind of a cool dynamic for sure. Like in the comics, I would say, but
yeah, I think peak Walking Dead was probably season 3. I think season with the one with the prison, that was probably my favorite season. Yeah.
I like 6. I like 5. I like 4 too. Like when we get towards the end of but I still think that first season is very strong. Even somewhere at the bar with Sophia and stuff, everything.
Right.
But it's so crazy how different that is compared to the comics. Because like in the comics, like it's Carl that kills Shane, and Shane never turns into like a. You know what I'm saying? He never turns into a John. He kills Shane and shit like that. But still stuff like that.
I heard the show changed a lot from the comics. Like I heard the show really
a lot. Yeah.
A lot from it, yeah.
They had to. A lot of shit. They had no choice, but they had to and stuff. And Daryl's not a real character, so they had to kind of shoehorn him in there. But it's still I still think like that was a great time for television, especially like. It marks like an era where people were still watching things on cable. We haven't yet like kind of fully converted into the streaming era just of yet. Like that was like kind of like one of the last shows.
Right.
Which is interesting kind of thinking about it too.
Wait, so Walking Dead has ended, right? Like it's over, right?
They're just doing a bunch of spin-offs. That's about it. The actual main show is done. It took forever, you know what I'm saying? But like they still got Daryl show that's getting like a 3rd season.
Wow.
I think the Negan and Maggie show is done. I think they might have one more season for that.
Negan and Maggie have a show?
Yeah, it's called Dead City, which actually is not that bad, honestly. It's kind of cool seeing like Maggie be like this villain type of character. And like Negan started to kind of get back because everybody kind of split up at the end of the series. That's why everybody getting this. But fucking Daryl somehow ended up overseas. Don't ask me why. So he's over there with Carol.
Wait, so how the hell did Maggie and Negan shake hands and make up? Because Maggie
they didn't. They do. They do want to kill each other like all throughout this, and like Herschel's with them, the kid and stuff like that. And even they have some dope moments where he's like, yeah, if you ever want to just like when you get older, you want to still kill me, you could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like pretty much like type of shit. But like Negan is still Negan in this, but he's still that reformed. Like he's not as bad and stuff like that. And like he's just trying to tell Becky, yo, you need to get the fuck over this shit. Like it's been years. It's been like 10 years. Like
get over it, man. I'll never get like, do you bash my husband's brains right in fucking front of me with his eyeball hanging out? I will never forget that.
No, but you should be really mad at Daryl because that was really Daryl's fault. All of that shit was really Daryl's fault because he's like, I just wanted to kill one of y'all motherfuckers. Yeah. This nigga wanted to come and get out of line and shit, so I got it. You know what I'm saying? Back to it.
Well, you should have killed Daryl, then you didn't have to kill Glenn, motherfucker.
But that whole lineup scene was so crazy because it's like we've never seen Rick in that position where he's like, yo, he cannot get out of this.
Yeah,
there's no getting out of it. You got to kind of just go with it now.
You have to take it. Yeah, do you remember? I remember that summer being so frustrating because the first half of the season ended on that cliffhanger. Like, okay, I remember we spent that whole summer trying to figure out who Negan was going to kill. Remember that? Like, there was endless YouTube videos on, okay, this is why this character's going to die. Yeah, this is why this character's going to die. And everybody, and by the end, it was Glenn and Abraham. But we had to wait 3 months. We had to wait 3 months to find out what happened.
Yeah, I wasn't mad at Abraham because it made sense and whatnot. Because then, but then like that curveball of like, still getting Glenn's death, that still happened in the comics and stuff and whatnot, and just how it went about it, and just having it be Daryl's fault for attacking Negan. He was like, all right, cool, whatever. I just take another one. But that's the interesting thing about Negan as a leader. Like, I do think in some aspects he is a better leader than Rick. Just as far as like you see how he's got his shit set up compared to like Rick. They're constantly moving and stuff.
Right.
It's just like,
yeah.
It's just the only thing that like got Negan caught up is that like he still is human. You know what I'm saying? He's not, and that's what you find out about like his character is that like he just did what he had to do to survive, just like everybody else. But there's so many things you can kind of look at with Negan compared to like the other villains, where it's just like Alpha. It was cool to see like, yeah, we got like a group of people just live amongst hordes of zombies and they can just kind of blend in with them. That shit was fucking scary as shit. That was bringing like the horror back to The Walking Dead, which was kind of lost with the Negan stuff. I will say that, like I said, like they were stretching a lot of like material that was from the comics. That's not even like a short, like they were probably like a couple of issues, like for 6 issues, and they want to just spread this all out war into like a season and a half. And it's just like that could have just been wrapped up in a whole season if they really wanted to do that. Especially with 16 episodes, they could have done what they wanted to do in 7 and 8 in just one season.
Right. Now, as far as the zombies go, do you think Walking Dead probably had some of the best zombies that you've seen on film?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Because like I always liked watching Talking Dead. They always would highlight specific, zombies, like the little girl zombie.
right.
You know what I'm saying? The torso zombie, the torso walker. Even when like certain like walkers would look charred or something like that, that was like they had some really cool designs. But it definitely kind of, like you said, the magic kind of dwindled as the series progressed and stuff like that, where they had to take liberties with certain things, and some people stayed on. There's still people that like watch all the content or just are now starting to kind of check out now. But yeah, I wouldn't doubt it that they will definitely make like a Walking Dead movie in the future after the series are done, like probably like 10 to 20 years from now or something like that. We'll could definitely get a proper adaptation of that. I would have like, my thing is like the biggest fumble is HBO not the HBO passing on The Walking Dead. Like I could like just their excuse was just kind of crazy. It's like, oh man, it might have been too violent or some shit. I was like, bro, you're fucking HBO, like, and now y'all want to do The Last of Us and shit.
I was about to say violent. Have you ever watched Sopranos and The fucking Wire?
Yeah, I'm just like, I was just like, bro, how did y'all drop the bag? But now y'all want to do fucking IPs and shit like that? Because it seemed like at that time they weren't invested in doing IPs or like, you know what I'm saying? So I can see why they didn't want to, like, they passed on it. But like, I can only imagine if Walking Dead was on HBO, like they would have had the budget. I don't know if we would have got Andrew Lincoln. That's another thing too. But like, there's certain cast members that just kind of really work. Like, having John Berthal as Shane, like certain things just kind of work in its favor. But then just a lot of behind the scenes shit kind of fuck that show up and whatnot. But
yeah, shout out to Shane. Man, I remember first watching Walking Dead. I started late. I think Walking Dead was probably on his 4th season when I started watching it, so I had to binge from the beginning. And I thought Shane was such a cool fucking character, man. So even though he was kind of a villain, but I hated when Shane died. I hated when Shane died. I shed a tear when Herschel died.
And he had to go because, like, bro, like he could not like what we know now, like certain characters. I was like, bro, he would have got more people killed, especially around with Negan and stuff. He would have got more people killed.
Nah, facts, and Daryl's brother. I remember that messed me up a little bit. When Daryl saw Merle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That kind of got me a little bit. And
he had to go though too.
Sasha, her death got me.
Yeah, Sasha's death was pretty crazy. Sasha's death pretty crazy.
Sad.
And I don't know if they're ever gonna get to like Rick's death, from the comics, because it's like it's completely different now. Because in the comics, like he dies in Commonwealth, like he gets shot in his sleep or some shit like that, and actually turns into a zombie.
Doesn't Rick lose a hand also?
Yeah, he loses a hand. Yeah, so it's like it's completely different, completely fucking different. But they kind of dropped the ball with Andrew Lincoln and stuff like too, because now it's just like it seemed like he got stuck with doing The Walking Dead. It's just like he just don't pop up in nothing else, which
He's
is kind of a
typecast.
shame. He's a good actor too. It's almost like the same thing with Hardwick. It's just like dang, like he's a great actor. Like it's just like all he could do is power. Like nobody else is wanting to put him in nothing and whatnot. But you know, it is what it is.
Well, that's what
That
like
leads
when
me.
you play an iconic character, man. It's a blessing and a curse because you'll forever be known for that character, but then you'll only be known for that character. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
That's
So
it.
with that being said, it is the zombie genre dying. I would say no. I think there was a little bit of fatigue, but like I said, there's been other instances where people have like remixed it. You got Black Summer, shit like Black Summer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, All of Us Are Dead. That's on Netflix. That's a really interesting take on zombies. Like I said, like Attack on Titan has zombie like zombie like themes, like with the Titans, they eat people and stuff like that. You don't like they don't bite you and you turn into a zombie like you turn into a Titan. That's not how it works. It's a little bit more complicated. Not complicated, but it's a little bit more. There's more to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, you still got. I think there's still always going to be audience and a market for zombie content
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Just like there's always going to be people that are invested in vampire stuff, and you're always gonna. But it's just how you go about it. How are you going to innovate, do something that hasn't been done before? You know what I'm saying? There's been even like something like World War Z where I get the ambition on that, but also not enough people support it, so that's why it kind of fell off a cliff. Maybe they'll go back and revisit that and do it in like a series.
Mm-hmm.
That might just be another Walking Dead, but like All of Us Are Dead was really cool. That's like a K drama. It's like a zombie show that's set up in like a high school. That shit's fucking crazy how they do that shit though. But they have like all the bright, vivid colors. I like Black Summer. Black Summer is really a fun, over the top, wacky kind of take on the zombie genre. Like I said, Train to Busan. Hopefully that's on your list.
No, it
I
is. It
think
is. I'm gonna watch that before the month is out. Word is born. I'm gonna watch it before the month
yeah,
is out.
I think you're gonna really fucking with that. That to me, I would say is probably my favorite zombie film.
Really?
Yeah, the more I think about it, I was like, yeah, that just hit all the right beats.
Damn.
Maybe I'll check. Maybe I probably have to rewatch some Zombie Jones because I know I liked was it Night of Living Return of the Living Dead
Dead. Mm-hmm.
year 3, isn't that with the chick with the
Oh, the syringes on her fingers.
yeah, I really like that's always going to be like iconic to me. And like have like the people in the fucking they'd always have the infected in them fucking barrels or some shit like that, and some
Well,
nasty shit.
which time? I mean, what's that Day of the? I remember Day of the Dead being buck ass wild. Is that the one with the military zombies?
I think
Yeah,
so. I think that's when we first started. Like that's when they first started getting the rating system too. Um,
yeah.
because of that movie.
I remember. I remember Day of the Dead being buck ass wild. I think one of the motherfuckers spoke too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, zombie shit. Oh, Land of the Dead. We didn't talk about that. Like that was ridiculous, but like I see where they're going with that, and
Mm-hmm.
I would say like All of Us Are Dead kind of does it better. Like making like intelligent zombies. That's another thing they haven't really. Nobody's really kind of fully dived into.
Until
Like
didn't Zack Snyder kind of do that with the what's that shit he came out with
like
last?
land. I thought you were talking about Land of the Dead. I don't think that was Zack Snyder, but Army of the Dead,
Army of the Dead. Yeah, there you go. Where they had
which
the
we haven't heard nothing about any type of sequel or anything like that. I wonder why, but
And it's set up for a sequel. And didn't it set up for a sequel, if I'm not mistaken?
Something like that. Or they had a sequel, I think. It was called some Thieves, Army of Thieves, or something like that.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like a prequel to Army of the Dead. I don't know what happened to the whole universe. I just feel like Netflix completely has given up on it. But the future of zombie content, I don't know what that looks like. But like I said, there are still zombie movies being made. I know Return of the Living Dead is coming out with a movie. I don't know if it's coming out this year or if they're going to push it till next year, but that's, Daisy Ridley has that one movie coming out called We Bury Our Dead that like I'm hearing a lot of good things about.
I've been hearing about
So
that. You got Marvel
it,
Zombies.
we don't talk about small zombies, but but like I said, like something like what Daisy's doing, even though it's a January movie, like it's still dope to kind of refreshing to see like a zombie movie on the big screen again. And maybe hopefully that it probably won't start a trend or anything like that, but maybe we'll get like a zombie movie or something like that, or there will be somebody will come out with a really dope one, and it kind of starts this resurgence of zombie content again. Because I think with The Walking Dead, it has kind of stumbled that momentum that we could have gotten and stuff like that. But
oh, well, what if DC decided to get into the zombie genre and do a Solomon Grundy movie? How crazy would that be?
it was crazy because they did Peacemaker. They did go into one universe that had zombies and shit in it, which is kind of crazy. So like they could definitely do the whole deceased storyline and stuff like that down the line, where they want to make an animated joint. That'd be cool.
But then again, I don't know, because Solomon Grundy's not really a popular character that a lot of people know about. So yeah, I don't know if that'll. But I mean, he is a zombie type character, so I mean, they could do that if they wanted to.
Yeah.
I think he's a Batman villain, but yeah, Solomon Grundy, why not?
You do you watch Peacemaker or no? Did you watch it?
No, I'm about to start it because I told you I wanted to finish when
Okay.
I wanted to wait till the season end, and I heard a lot of people say that they didn't like the finale, but I'm gonna binge the whole second season.
Yeah, it's decent, but like there's a theory that somebody had about Rick Flag that I started to think about. It's like, I didn't really think about that, that he could possibly be Clayface and stuff like that. But
okay,
because he definitely is not acting like himself, like compared to his Creature Commandos self and whatnot, and where they're going direction. It's really exciting. I'm excited to see what they do with this because it's set up something really big. Like you could say like, or like I guess people are expecting like cameos and certain things like that, but it's more so just setting up big things for the future of this. And once you watch it, you'll see. We'll kind of talk about it another time and shit. But but yeah, that's just kind of just tonight's episode talking about zombies and stuff like that. Let me know what y'all think about what was spoken about, everything. You got anything coming up that you want to plug, or got anything out that you want people to check out?
Yeah, well, I just dropped my review for spoiler review for Night of the Living Dead, first time watch, and I was thinking, I thought, did I do a video for Good Boy? Nope, I didn't. I didn't do a video for Good Boy, but it's on my letterbox. So if you want to see my review for that one, so yeah, Now the Living Dead. I am gonna watch Train to what's it called? Train to who? Train to
Busan.
They got that coming up. Okay. Oh, and I dropped a video for Candyman versus Candyman. So I had 92 versus 2021. I dropped that video.
They do have two movies, but like I would say the first one's stronger than the second. But you could definitely check out both. But definitely check out just one, just to see how you feel about it.
And the fact that Ed Gein is kind of trending right now. I'm collabing with my boy Darnell from Rejected Heroes Media. We're going to be reviewing doing a versus with Psycho versus Psycho 2. Because I feel like Psycho 2 doesn't get talked about enough. Everybody's all about the original Psycho, but I think Psycho 2 in some ways is better than the original. I don't know if that's a hot take, but yeah, we're going to be doing a versus video on that one.
And, I almost forgot to to mention Reanimator too, because I was rewatching that. That was
that's my
a good
shit.
one.
Yeah, Reanimator.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, Reanimator was dope. Yeah, that
But
shit was.
continue.
Yeah. Then Black Phone. I'm going to early screening for Black Phone 2 Tuesday. I think Tuesday or Wednesday. So I should have that review.
That's a press screening or just like a AMC joint. Okay,
Yeah,
so I was about to say like what the fuck? I didn't see that shit on my AMC.
Yeah, yeah, it's a press screening. So yeah, that's about it, man. And a lot more horror content coming for the rest of the month.
Yep. Word. I've been slacking on like my my uploads. It's just like you ever just get those weeks and you don't feel like doing shit, but you
All the
gotta do,
time.
but you know you gotta do shit. But like
Yep.
that's how I've been, But I'm gonna try to change that going into next week. I want to see Battle Royale, but I'm gonna probably check that out on another day that it's available and see a mystery movie, because I think the mystery movie this week is either going to be Good Fortune or there's a shit called or The Mastermind. So keep on the lookout for that. And I also want to see Trick or Treat in theaters. I'm gonna have to come out of pocket for both of them shits, but
that's the Fathom event, right?
Yeah, I don't mind that, but yeah, I definitely want to go see Trick or Treat, just because like I don't remember if I saw that shit in theaters or not. If I ever seen it in theaters, I don't think I have.
That's what that shit is.
Yeah, because that never got a wide release, which is that's so criminal that shit never got like a theatrical release and stuff like that. That shit's crazy. But then yeah, like I said, I got my Black Phone. I'm gonna be watching Black Phone on Thursday. Try to get that review out as well. Working on some other things. I'm gonna try to get some other videos out if I can. If I don't, it is what it is. Because normally, like this month, I'll just be cranking videos out like left and right. But I'm just procrastination is motherfucker. But just be on the lookout. Make sure you check out the community tab to keep up with all the different live streams. Make sure you have those notifications on. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to both of our channels if you are new. But then I'll see y'all next week. Got 2 more episodes left.
Yes, sir.